Now we're going to look at the most important bit, which is the best essay structure. It's not the only way. So if you write your essays in a different way and people find it easy to understand what you're saying, then that's fine, as long as other people, are understanding what you're saying. There's nothing wrong with that. But this is a common and a simple way to write a really good answer. Okay. Don't worry about the headings or the paragraph headings or the subtitles. They're there just to explain it to you, basically. And you don't even need subtitles or headings. I just like to break it up by numbers so that it's very clear to you to see the order. So, as I said at the start, there'll be more detail on the following slides that you guys can look at for homework. But first of all, you do an intro. And then you don't need a separate section, but basically you're just saying next what some potential answer to the question might be or have been. So in this question, we've seen that there's potential moral arguments. We know there's potential social arguments. So you could say briefly in the introduction, once you've said what your argument is, you can say someone could approach this from a historical perspective, an economic perspective, a moral perspective. You're just telling them, you're saying, I know that there's lots of ways that I could answer this, but I'm going to focus on this specific one. And then in the main body of the essay, you start by dealing with the most persuasive counter argument. And why the most persuasive? Well, because if I am, let's say, a very intelligent person, and I'm arguing against someone who is very, very not intelligent or doesn't know anything, then if I beat them in a debate, that doesn't really mean I've got a good view, because it was very easy, okay? Whereas if you're debating against someone who does have a really good view, really good evidence, then your argument is going to be more impressive, because it's not just better than something bad, but it's better than something really good. Okay, if I said, oh, my chocolate bar that I make is better than the worst chocolate bar, that's not going to make you want to try it. Whereas if I say my chocolate bar is better than the best chocolate bar, then you're going to want to try it. Okay, so it's a similar thing. You want to choose a counter argument that's actually pretty strong, probably the one you think is the second most strong argument. But then after saying why it's a strong argument, you say why ultimately your argument is even stronger and how it overcomes some of the counter arguments. Then if you want, this is optional, you might have done enough already to then stop and conclude the essay. But it might be the case that your argument isn't just better than the counter argument. It doesn't just achieve something more than the counter argument, but it gives us something else. It gives us a much better answer to this question for some reason. So maybe it's a better argument about the economics of this question, but it also helps us understand the history of the question, for instance.